Crystal. This is for Digestive Tract Paralysis Awareness Week. What I'm going to do is be cooking a few recipes with you from the Gastroparesis Gourmet. This is a brand new cookbook that was just released by GPACT. You can go to their website at www.g-pact.org and you can order your copy. As you can see, I've got a whole bunch of recipes already bookmarked for myself, so you should definitely check it out. There's a lot of really good things in there. I was diagnosed with gastroparesis about 6 years ago, and in addition to being a GP patient, I'm also a certified health counselor, and I work with other GP patients to help them with their diet and nutrition and managing their symptoms. So if there's one thing I know, it's how difficult it is to figure out what to eat when you have digestive tract paralysis. So what we're going to need for this recipe is a sweet potato, which I'm working on peeling. We are going to need a pound of baby carrots. I just have some organic carrots here. A half a cup of applesauce. I'm just using a cinnamon applesauce. And the recipe in the book calls for a quarter cup of brown sugar. I'm actually going to use a quarter cup of maple syrup instead. Maple syrup is a natural sweetener, and I kind of like the flavor that it gives the whole dish. In the recipe also it calls for a quarter cup of margarine. I'm going to skip the margarine altogether, mostly because it contains trans fats, which are really, not very healthy. So you can do margarine, you can do a light butter, but I'm just going to go ahead and skip it all together, and I don't think we're going to miss it. So what I'm doing right now is just peeling a sweet potato. And while I finish up, I'm going to tell you a little bit about DTP, Digestive Tract Paralysis. It's a mouthful, but basically it's what it sounds like. The digestive tract, one or more parts, are paralyzed. And so what I'm going to do now is just start chopping the sweet potato into little chunks. I'm going to dice it actually. And you want to make sure, if you have, like me, I still have some skins here, you want to make sure you get them all off, because if you do have gastroparesis or digestive tract paralysis, one of the things that you definitely want to avoid are skins of things like potatoes, sweet potatoes, any kind of vegetable skin. If you have gastroparesis, like I said, you want to avoid the peels of any kind of vegetables. You also want to avoid skins and seeds, and you want to avoid raw vegetables as well. Dried fruit and nuts. All of these things can cause blockages if they sit in your stomach for too long. So we have the diced potatoes, and what I'm going to do is just stick those in a pan with the carrots, and we're going to boil them. Okay, so we have our diced sweet potatoes and our carrots in a big stock pot here, and I've just covered them with water and put the heat on high. And so we're just going to wait until those boil, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we have our potatoes and carrots at a boil, and we're just gonna turn down the heat to medium, and we're gonna let them simmer right like that for about 20 minutes until they're tender. Okay, so our veggies have been simmering for a little over 20 minutes, and you can see they're really fork tender, so perfect. I'm gonna strain them, and then we'll get on with the recipe. We have our pot of tender vegetables, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the half a cup of applesauce. And since I'm not adding the butter, I do want to add the applesauce to give me something to puree with, some kind If you're adding the butter, you can kind of hold off on the applesauce and see what you think. But I'm going to add the applesauce, and I'm going to add my 1/4 cup of maple syrup as well. So, I mean, this is a vegetable side dish, but it's got kind of a natural sweetness to it too. Now, if you have an immersion blender, it's perfect for things like this. You can use it to make mashed potatoes, you can use it to make soups, but it's perfect for something like this. So I'm just going to use this to puree up the vegetables. And once you're done pureeing, that's it. You've got your sweet potato and carrot puree, and you can serve this alongside something like a skinless chicken breast or a baked white fish. Those things are also GP friendly. For a definition of what constitutes GP friendly, you can visit my blog at www.livingwithgastroparesis.com. I actually just recently wrote a blog post about that. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for being a part of DTP Awareness Week, and I hope you'll check out the next segment where I make another great recipe from the Gastroparesis Gourmet.